This project started through thinking about people like Paul Simon or Ratan Tata, people who have been outstanding collaborators, not only with people very similar to them, but also people very different. So Paul Simon started his career collaborating with Art Garfunkel, and they were childhood friends. They grew up in New York City together. And that went really well, and they had a falling out. And then Paul Simon began collaborating with township musicians from Soweto and gamelan players from Indonesia and Brazilian musicians. And he was able to achieve the same kind of synergy with people who are very different from him. What does creative collaboration require? And then what about cultural differences might make it more challenging? So I was reminded of this quote, which I think may resonate for a lot of us, about a collaboration that many of us admire between Danny Kahneman and Amos Tversky. And this is from Danny's book. And he said, "We were close enough so that we understood each other very well. And we also had complementary skills. I'm more intuitive than he was. He was renowned for his clarity. The fact that we just got along very well and had enormous respect for each other, and that we enjoyed each other's company, enabled a joint mind that was better than our separate minds." What do you notice about this process of collaboration that gives you a sense of why trust might be important? Why do these people need to trust each other to engage in this sort of group collaboration? What are the risks? Okay, so a lot of these ideas are kind of dumb ideas, or and you could be criticized, you can be ridiculed. A lot of times with these far out on a limb ideas, unless other people are listening really hard, you might be wasting your time because people aren't going to really know what the Velcro seats are. It turned out that the idea for Velcro seats ended up being really important to their design, but not because they used Velcro, but because that gave somebody else an idea that turned out to be useful. Trust seems very important here. Now, why does cultural differences create a greater challenge? Because there are a lot more people who can collaborate creatively with people who are very similar to them than there are people like Paul Simon or Ratan Tata who can collaborate with people who are very different. And we thought that this may be related to creative collaboration because it would help people to not cause offense or not take offense when people are expressing themselves differently. We are testing two alternative accounts of what kind of trust might be the most relevant kind of trust. And we draw on a distinction between cognition-based trust, which is basically an expectation of the other party's competence and reliability, and affect-based trust, which is closer to the idea of having rapport or a bond with somebody, sort of a desire for closeness with the person. And this distinction, it sort of parallels a lot of distinctions in social psychology between, the basic dimensions on which people form impressions of other people.